In this video, I will explain and show you how to replace the drum bearings on an Electrolux EWS 1045 washing machine. The washing machine is quite old, and recently the drum has started making a humming noise. We need to figure out how to replace the bearing. To make sure the drum bearings are to blame, you need to shake the drum slightly. In this case, you'll hear a characteristic knocking and sloshing sound. Open the drum and shake it. You can hear knocking, rattling and noise. When you spin it, it hums. The bearing needs to be replaced urgently. In this washing machine, the bearing is double row, looks like this, and is quite expensive, about 500 hryvnias. You will also need this type of bearing seal, as well as some grease. When the washing machine operates with a broken bearing, it produces a loud humming noise. If you don't fix this issue, the spider arm may break, and that will be even more expensive to repair. First of all, before you do anything else, you absolutely need to completely disconnect the washing machine from its various essential connections, specifically the water supply, the sewage drainage system, and the electrical power source, all of which I have already meticulously and carefully completed. The very next crucial thing you need to do is to carefully unscrew the two securing screws that firmly hold the top cover in place. After that, you should gently slide the cover backward and then carefully remove it entirely from its designated position. The body of this washing machine comes apart in two sections, whereas with previous Samsung and LG washing machines, you had to remove the drum and tub through the top of the machine. Here, it's easier. Next, you need to take a flathead screwdriver, unclip these two latches, and remove the upper part of the water supply to the detergent drawer. Now you need to unscrew the two top bolts on one side, the two on the other side, and also the bolt at the bottom, which is located under the cover at the bottom of the housing. To do this, you need to use an 8mm wrench. Carefully pry off the lower cover using a flathead screwdriver, and then proceed to unscrew the single bolt located inside. After that, you can carefully and completely remove the entire back panel of the washing machine's outer housing. On the back of the drum, you can clearly see the rusty water streaks that came from directly under the bearing and the steel. So, it's a complete bearing failure due to the oil seal. These are the kinds of puddles you get. Water was getting onto the drain pump. Well, at least it didn't burn out. Now you need to disconnect the power supply to the heating element. To avoid mixing up the wires later, take a photo or remember how everything was connected. Now you need to disconnect the power supply to the motor. To do this, you need to cut this clamp and simply remove this connector, as well as the grounding wire. Press something sharp, such as a small screwdriver or a pointed tool, firmly against the grounding connector, and the electrical contact will then carefully and smoothly come out. After successfully removing the contact, you can then proceed to safely and completely remove the power wire from its connection point. After that, you can remove the drive belt from the motor and drum pulleys. Let's see how the pulley spins. It makes a loud humming noise, which is dangerous for the machine. After that, you need to remove the motor. To do this, unscrew the two bolts in the front and the two bolts in the back. It's difficult to reach the rear bolts, so I use this kind of extension. Now, remove the motor. Support it a little from below and gently push it inward. Here it is, removed. After that, you need to start disconnecting all the water hoses connected to the drum. Unscrew the clamp securing the detergent supply hose and remove it. Take out the water supply hose from the drum. It just fits together. After that, loosen the clamp on the drain hose. And disconnect the hose from the tank. And unscrew the pressure switch cup from the tank. After that, you need to remove the clamp of the door's rubber seal. The clamp goes all the way around and is made of plastic. Using a flathead screwdriver, pry the clamp from that side and it will open. This clamp has a toothed locking mechanism and can be fixed in any position as you tighten it, and it self-tightens. And after that, tuck the rubber seal inside. Next, you need to disconnect the watering hose from the body of the rubber seal. There is a clamp here. You need to pry it from underneath and it will come undone. Spread it apart and now you can remove the hose from the rubber seal. After that, you will need to carefully unscrew the main drum pulley bolt using a specific 17mm socket. I will then securely hold the pulley housing in place with a sturdy wooden block just like this, and then begin the process of unscrewing it completely. The bolt has a short head, so try not to strip it. Now remove the pulley, gently rocking it back and forth because it sits on very tightly. The pulley is hard to remove, so I'll use a small pry bar. I'll start prying it from all sides very gently, so as not to break the plastic part or damage the pulley. Everything here is rusted, which is why it was so difficult to remove. Here on the pulley you can see traces of oxidation. Everything is very oxidized and stuck together. After that, using a 13mm socket, unscrew the 3 bolts securing the stabilizing weight. And carefully remove it. The stabilizing weight here is made of metal, which is quite surprising. Nowadays, everything is made from concrete. In the next step, you need to remove the shock absorbers from the tank. To do this, remove these wedges which are latched on the opposite side. Use bent pliers to squeeze them from that side. And we remove this one with regular pliers. These are the kind of retainers installed here. These retainers look like peculiar arrows and are secured by this tab. You press it and it comes off. After that, you need to remove the springs that hold the tank. To do this, unscrew the bracket that secures the spring. Unscrew this bolt with an 8mm socket. Take a flathead screwdriver, insert it into the spring's loop and slightly lift the tank, disengaging the spring from its catch. And remove the tank from the washing machine. This is what the drum of the washing machine looks like. There is also a stabilizing weight at the front. There's almost nothing left inside the washing machine. There are only traces of leaks and dirt in the drain pipe. It will need to be cleaned. To remove the drum from the tank, you need to unscrew all the bolts around the perimeter with an 8mm socket. Some of the drum's connecting bolts are very deep, so I'm using a double extension. Now the bolts are unscrewed and both halves of the tank can be taken apart. After that, we'll try to remove the drum from its tank and take out the bearing. It comes out easily. Everything here is dirty and needs to be replaced. You can see here that the seal is already faulty and worn out. It needs to be removed along with the bearing. Clean all the dirt and rust around the perimeter. And with the careful and precise help of a standard screwdriver, we'll gently and meticulously pry it completely out from its secure position. It's going to be replaced anyway. It's sitting very tightly. We need something for leverage. Here's the seal we have here. It's already become hardened and needs to be replaced urgently. Now, we need to carefully remove this particular bearing. To effectively do this, it is important to thoroughly wipe down the mounting surfaces. Same. Before removing the old bearing, you need to get some WD-40 lubricant. I have it in a syringe. And thoroughly soak everything, so that the rust loosens up and the bearing comes out of its seat. Using a special puller or round nose pliers, remove the retaining ring from the bearing. It's very tough and not rusty. It will still be useful. To press out the drum bearing, I'll use an automotive hub bearing puller. Place a washer on one side of the bearing and the other part of the puller on the opposite side. Then tighten with the nut. Now all that's left is to tighten this nut well and the bearing should come out. There, the bearing has come out. It looks pretty worn out. It's seizing up and it's ready to be scrapped. The bearing seat is clean. I'll clean it thoroughly, lubricate it, and then we'll press in the new bearing. Before installing the drum back in place, I will thoroughly clean the tank housing and the drum. As you can clearly see, despite consistently using high-quality detergents, stubborn dirt and unsightly scales still inevitably accumulate, which absolutely have to be meticulously cleaned off manually. As you can see, the old and new bearings are completely identical and are both SKF brand. Before pressing it in, it is necessary to lubricate the bearing seat using Lytol 24 grease. And we'll also lubricate the outer surface of the bearing. I'll be pressing in the bearing using the same puller, so as not to damage it during installation. Now the bearing is pressed in, let's remove the puller. Now we can take the centering tool out of the bearing. I will now carefully install the bearing's retaining ring back into its proper place, ensuring it is securely seated. In the very next crucial step, I will be using a high-quality, specialized waterproof grease, which I will meticulously apply to the entire seal, ensuring thorough coverage both on the inside and the outside surfaces, and we'll press the seal into its place.
It's important to apply a thin layer inside the seal. And on the outside, this applies equally, extending to the external appearance and surrounding environment, ensuring a comprehensive and thorough consideration of all aspects. We'll also apply some grease to the seating area of the seal for good measure. And we'll press the seal into place all the way until it stops. To press it in, I'll use the same washer from the puller. Now the seal is in its place. Before installing the drum into the tank, it's necessary to check the condition of the bushing on the spider, which interacts with the seal. It should be clean and free of deep grooves or significant wear. There's a bit of dirt and minor wear on the bushing. I'll take the finest sandpaper and gently clean and smooth everything out. Wipe the surface of the bushing to remove any dust. Now it's perfectly clean and shiny. Before installing the tank parts back in place, it's necessary to lubricate. Apply this bushing using the same grease. And place the upper part of the tank onto the drum. Before installing the pulley back in place, you need to clean its inner surface from rust and oxidation. In the next step, before assembling the tank, you need to take some plumbing silicone and thoroughly coat the rubber gasket, because over time it sags and dries out. Then we put the upper part of the tank on. And screw in the bolts around the perimeter of the tank. Now let's check how the drum rotates, whether it touches the heating element and if it wobbles. As we can see, the drum operates very quietly, without any noise, so we can continue assembling everything. After this, we'll proceed to mount the tank onto its springs. For this, I use a simple tool made from wire. One of my colleagues made one out of rope, but I think wire is stiffer and more convenient. We place the tank back in its position. Remove the spring. And carefully put it into place just like this. Now you simply need to remove the wire from the spring mechanism, and that's all there is to it. Immediately screw in the spring retainer, so the body doesn't move and will be secured. And put the second spring in its place. Now connect the shock absorbers back in place. For this, I lightly grease these pins with little so they would go in more easily. Just insert it and it should click into place. All the way in. Bring the shock absorber into position. And insert the pin into its locking position. Everything goes in very easily, even by hand. Connect all the hoses to the tank, making sure they fit tightly. Otherwise, there will be leaks. And secure the hose with a clamp. Then carefully screw the pressure switch cup securely onto the tank, ensuring a tight fit. And reconnect the water supply hose to its place. For better sealing, I'll lightly coat the fitting area with silicone. That way, there definitely won't be any leaks. motor back in its place. Carefully slide it in from the back, ensuring a proper fit, and then gently push it forward into its designated position. And tighten the 4 mounting bolts. Then connect all the electrical wires. The motor power wire. Attach the grounding wire. Connect one grounding wire securely to the heating element and also to the main tank body. Put the wires back in their places. Now, carefully connect the temperature sensor power to the square connector, ensuring it is securely and firmly in place. And connect the power to the heating element. On the heating element, the left wire is double and the right wire is single. Now screw the stabilizing weight back into place. And the really tricky parts, the most challenging components, are undoubtedly the drum pulley, which often presents significant difficulties. Secure it with the mounting bolt. Now you can check how the drum works. It spins smoothly, quietly, with no play. Put the drive belt back in place. First, put it on the motor pulley, then on the drum pulley, and turn it a bit like a bicycle chain. And now we need to connect the hose to this sprinkler. To do this, put the clamp onto the rubber hose. Then you will carefully attach the durable plastic adapter securely onto the designated fitting, ensuring a snug and proper connection. Following this, you should firmly tighten the clamp using a pair of robust pliers, applying sufficient pressure to ensure it is completely secure and stable. And carefully fit the flexible rubber gasket back into its original, secure place. Now put the plastic clamp back where it belongs. Insert it here and snap it into place. Make absolutely sure that it fits very tightly and securely, and then carefully put the back cover into its proper place. And then carefully screw in all of the bolts, securely fastening the back cover into place. Carefully snap the rear panel back into its original place, and then gently put the top cover back on. Now the washing machine is assembled. You can check once more how the drum spins. The drum spins smoothly, without sticking or excessive noise. You clearly saw that the old, worn-out bearing was already completely broken and quite loose, and the protective seal had unfortunately lost its original tightness, becoming very hard and brittle, and was definitely due for an immediate replacement.